Victor Vital is a former prosecutor and assistant district attorney in the Houston area, now a trial lawyer and involved also previously with the Dallas City Hall corruption investigation. Thanks very much for being here.
Glad to be here.
Very busy news day, and I'm sure you've been watching it really closely. Let's talk about John Wiley Price. Handcuffs, shackles today. Probably not the way he thought things would play out.
I think that is a very fair statement.
He had the chance to go in and talk to the feds.
Right.
Chose not to do it.
Right.
Probably on the advice of his attorney, I would imagine. Would things have played out differently had he gone in and had to sit down?
I can't speculate on that. What I will say is that oftentimes attorneys advise their clients to do either of the two things, to either go in or not go in. Whether things would have turned out differently today,
right,
in terms of how he was taken in, I can't say.
So he didn't have a lot to say today. He did say he's not going to resign.
Right.
Is it possible for him to get back to county business as usual when this is anything but usual?
I believe so.
Yeah?
A lot of politicians in these very same circumstances actually do get down to business, and the way you do that is to leave the legal troubles to your lawyer to handle while you get on with your life. Okay,
but part of the legal troubles that he has also involve a coworker, Daphne Fain.
Right.
She's going to be back at work, but they're not going to talk about this at work. They're going to leave it at the door. Is that how it works?
That's the magistrate Stickney's orders, apparently, so they're going to have to.
So what are we looking at time-wise for the defense now? Because this is, and you read it, this 109-page indictment kind of reads like a novel, I think, to a lot of folks. Took the feds 3 years to put this together.
Right.
Will the defense then have that equal amount of time, or what are they looking at time-wise to check this out and kind of getting their ducks in a row?
It's a very interesting question. The answer is they're not going to have that much time, likely. The Constitution and by statute, they're entitled to a speedy trial. Probably will not be insisted on by these defendants. In a complex case like this, they will waive that so that they have time to prepare. As a general benchmark in a case like this, you can expect probably a year to a year and a half, maybe a little longer before you see a trial in the case. But I wouldn't expect this case to take 3 years. So just to be honest and straight up, the government really has a head start in these cases because they get to work the heck out of these cases before we ever see anything.
Yeah, before they say, okay, here's what we have, and we've been working on this for a long time. All right, so talking about the trial, John Wiley Price has a huge fan base, a huge base of supporters in Dallas County, but when they go to pick that jury pool, it's not just Dallas County we're talking about. It's what, 7 counties? So you've got Hunt and Kaufman and Rockwall County. That jury pool is going to come from.
Right.
Is that going to change things for the defense at all, do you think? And
not necessarily. The question presumes that the jury might decide the case differently based upon where the jury is from. Most likely, however, the jurors who are most vocal in favor or against Mr. Price will not be on the jury anyway, because through effective jury selection they will be stricken either for cause or on a peremptory basis. You'll be surprised, though, in Dallas, in the Dallas division here in the federal district, you get most of your jurors from the metro area, just because this is such a dense population base for this federal district.
Right. Any chance the trial is going to be moved and completely out of this area totally?
Well, you know, we have precedent for that in Dallas corruption history. I don't expect that to happen.
So U.S. Attorney Sarah Saldana today, she said, and I'm quoting her, she says, taxpayers are the losers. You agree with that? You think taxpayers are the losers? I mean, obviously that's coming from the prosecution side, and things have to be proven, but you know, I mean, this is an office, he took an oath, and again, things have to be proven down the line.
I think that Sarah Saldana said what any prosecutor would say.
Yeah, talking about people saying things. We've got the viewer's voice. People call and they vent, they write emails to Steve Eager, and they get on the phone and leave these voicemails. So we're going to actually play the viewer's voice a little bit later in this newscast. Some of the things that people are saying, I'm going to read this to make sure I get it right. A lot of people say that he's being targeted because he's black. Others are saying that he's never going to be found guilty because of the support from the black community. Do you buy into any of this? I mean, already people are pulling the race card.
You know, just like I commented earlier, when we see a trial in this case, if we do see a trial in this case, my speculation is that we probably will. Those types of people will not make it on the jury because the government has effective lawyers. Price will have effective lawyers and these other defendants will, and they will make sure through effective voir dire that you don't have people on the jury like that. So based on that process, you'll have people on the jury who will fairly weigh the evidence, irrespective of race or anything else.
Okay, but that's the jury, and
right.
This is the community. I mean, it's on Facebook. It's, you know, it'll be in these op-ed pieces. It's all, right. And so I guess that brings us back to, how does he get back to business as usual when what's happening in this investigation is affecting people who, yeah, they're not going to be on the jury, but they're talking about it and we're talking about it on the news tonight. So
right. My answer to that is really probably beyond just a legal answer, but as a resident of Dallas for over a decade, and based upon my knowledge of John Wiley Price, I think he'll be able to do his job effectively and let the hubbub just play out. This is not the first time we see controversy regarding John Wiley Price.
Yeah, this is true, and I think people are. I mean, it's amazing how that is one of the first things to come out.
Right.
He is a polarizing figure. You love him, you hate him, and is that going to play into? And I don't know. Maybe you're looking at this, I guess, from the trial attorney's perspective, right. And saying that, no, we're going to ferret through all these people and get the ones who can really judge this case.
Right.
But it plays into all of it. I mean,
it does. The personality of the players in the case of a defendant, the personalities of the lawyers play a factor in the case. But in the end, what we see happen in the trial process, which I believe very deeply is, we see I don't want to say a sanitization of the jury pool, but through effective voir dire, and the judge overseeing the case will be mindful of this, that the people that get seated to try the case will really focus on the evidence in the case as opposed to the personalities
drama and the emotions. Right.
Right.
Do you think there's going to be more to come out of this? I mean, this is a lot of money that we're talking about.
Right.
This is big business kind of money. Are there any businesses that are going to be, named out of all this, or other folks? Or?
Well, in the indictment, you'll probably see, you probably remember seeing references to Company J or Person A.
Right, not identified.
What will happen, I'm sure through you guys' investigative reporting and other outlets, people will start to fill in the blanks. Billy Rafkin and his team they're probably filling in the blanks as we speak.
Right.
So there will be stories, and you'll hear some names of companies and entities, and then these people from these businesses will testify in court, and you can expect to see their lawyers show up with them, because you can imagine that if your name shows up in an indictment but you're not charged and you're going to be a witness, you're going to be there with a lawyer.
You're not going to wait. Yeah, you're going to go when they call that meeting. You're going to go and take care of it.
When you testify on the witness stand, your lawyer's going to be right there.
Right there with you. Right. All right, Victor, thank you so much. I'm sure we're going to be seeing lots of you throughout this process, and it could be an awfully long process.
That's right.
Thank you for being in here tonight.